Ali, 20 years, mate. By God, it goes quick, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, my man. It does, my man. Visually, you can see a lot of difference between all of us, but in the head, mentally, we're all excited to come back together and have a look at each other or see what we're all looking like. Yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, when you walk in the room and you see those faces, does it just instantly take you back to that time and place, does it?
Oh, 100%. I tell you what, on our group chat, we just got a picture from our dear friend Rupeni Salvao, who has just jumped on the fourth. Well, he's on the second leg. The first leg was him on horseback getting to the boat. Now we've just seen a picture of him on the boat, on the way to Nandi to get onto the plane. So just exciting to see everyone, right? Just to see where we're at, how everyone's evolved, but then also reminisce and just say, man, that was a special time in our life for everyone. Even though for some it was some of their last years, and for others it was the start.
Yeah, I mean, you're just a young boy then, weren't you, in terms of your rugby playing?
Yeah, mate. I was 2 years into it. That was my second Super Rugby year. Come off the World Cup. Well, everyone was aiming at the World Cup, and I thought it was a pipe dream, but we got there. So for me, yeah, I was young, dumb, and inexperienced.
And to be in that team with some of those other players, just some of the great names that were there, and that. So when you actually, at the start of that season, with the Crusaders having just won back to back to back, and they just seemed unbeatable. What were your thoughts? Did you genuinely think you could take them out?
Look, I think if you mix it, like if you look at the makeup of the squad that we had, as I say, a lot of young guys, first or second year Super Rugby, and we had some older heads, right? If they played well and got us in a good headspace, then us young boys would carry through doing all the sort of, up and down energy type of work. And we just got the mix right. So when we went into it, I think it was more around, increase on the performance or the growth of 2002, see where we get to. And 3 games in, when someone like Graham Henry is so passionate about the Blues and's come back from international duties, to take us, well, we just thrived, right? We just thrived. We just loved it. So towards the middle of the season, there were possibilities, but towards the end, there was almost the expectations, which was cool.
Wow, how it changes, eh? So you go from a team that's just, of course you have dreams and hopes, but then it gets to business, and then you're thinking, my God, all of a sudden, hey, we are, and we can be. Yeah.
No, it's and it happens so quick for all of us, right? Not just in sport and in life and all sorts. We go from down the bottom to up the top quite quickly, and we can go from up the top to down the bottom quite quickly. We all know that and respect that. Then it makes life exciting when you get out of bed, yeah.
Look, and you have so many different teams that you play for in that, and so this is what I think is really special about sport, and especially about when you have a reunion like this. I mean, you could have a reunion with your world champion All Black side, of course, but to do this with a side that you're playing with every week at the start of the season, and it's a Super Rugby franchise, and that. Yeah, I mean, it's something that I suppose people who don't play don't really get to feel and know as well. That's the real shame. I mean, I sit and watch a lot of sport, of course, but I don't have that. That, to me, is the one thing I wish I had that I'm missing out on.
Well, I think it's one of the things that when you're playing the game, you take everything for granted in terms of, your teammates are there, your friends are there. When you have your ups, your downs, people see you. It's visible. You're all vulnerable. And you have to be vulnerable to be a great team. And so then when you think 20 years back and all the things that have happened in between it, you go, man, that was a special time in my life. And it's pretty cool to see everyone and that sort of stuff. So for me, I'm really excited. I was in the shower this morning. I was like, you're quite nervous. I might go and get myself a haircut. Because you watch the American reunions. They talk about these massive reunions. And I'm like, shit, I better go and get a haircut and make myself look good. Yep. I'm really, really excited, right? And I think one of the hard things is, and one of the interesting things is, when people leave rugby, whether it's on their own terms, whether it was forced, whether it was injury, whether it was, whatever it was, it's interesting. Some people crave to be back in. Some people are happy to move on. But I think more than anything, I believe it's almost forgetting what we were as young rugby players to now getting to know people as that new person through that evolution. And that's what I'm really excited to see, how the guys have evolved and that sort of stuff. And some people, don't like it, and other people do like it. But the one thing for me is we're still all equal. There's no superstars. You know what I mean? There's no movie clips. There's no nothing here. It's just a whole group of mates getting together. So I can't wait, mate. I just can't wait. I can't wait to hear my Fijian brother's voice.
Go on.
Bro.
And what a player he was. As soon as you mention his name, I just remember there was one scoop-up try. He picked it up, and the Indra did that on the weekend as well. He scooped it up with his left hand. He ran like he was so low to the ground.
Brumby semi-final.
That was it?
We needed a try. We turned around to Rubes and we said, hey, buddy, it's pissing with rain here, Chief. Any chance you could score us a try? No problem, bro. Right. Graham Henry, I saw Graham Henry on Tuesday. We went for a fish, and this, by the way, this is the only time Graham Henry selects me now when he needs someone. He needs someone to do it. He needs someone to do a charity fishing day. So he's like, Williams, I've selected you this year. I said, why didn't you select me more when I was playing? But so he said it, and I brought up his name, and he's like, woof, that player was one player I think the whole world knew was one of the best in the world. Unfortunately, didn't have a long career, but my gosh, I do not think you've met a better winger, and I put him right up there, side by side with Jonah.
He's a human highlight reel, mate. He was such a crowd pleaser to watch. Of course, you had Carlos as well, pulling strings.
Xavier Rush, I think you'll remember, was the Colossus of
that
year, the captain. Carlos Spencer had one of his best years. He was unbelievable. The forgotten hero is a guy by the name of Lee Stensness. He won 3 championships with the Blues. One of the only players to win 3 championships with the Blues, and he was outside Carlos Spencer, and he is a human legend, that guy. And then there's the little pocket rocket, Sammy Tutupo.
Yep.
I mean, geez, the names go on, right?
Yeah, they do.
Names go on. Case Muse, I'm getting big Papa Bear Case Muse up from Dunedin. He's coming up, and mate, his little time at the Blues was just awesome. What a human too.
Yeah, he's a fantastic bloke. He might try and sell your house while he's up too, mate.
Yeah, he might.
He does.
We actually in that year we called him Pooh Bear, and because his nickname was Papa Bear.
Yeah.
But we always called him Pooh Bear because on a captain's run he walked onto the bus, and because he was on the back seat, he walked onto the bus and he stood in a big heap of poo, and he walked it all down the bus. So he was Pooh Bear.
Look, I'm delighted and thrilled for you, and I hope you have a fantastic time, all of you, mate. And it's so good to look back and go, wow, what a time. And it's also so good to look back or to look now and go, hey, life has moved on and we can move on, and that's just a part of my life. That's what I appreciate about you so much, that you're one of those guys that you can isolate and separate that side of your life.
Yep, no, definitely, Marty. And mate, good to chat again, buddy. And great to hear everything's going well.
Thank you.
Family are good. But yeah, we're super excited for this weekend, and anyone that's listening out there, if there's a few old fat-looking rugby players walking around at about 10 a.m., 11 p.m. at down the viaduct or wherever we used to go, buy us a beer because we don't have the money.
Awesome, dude.
We've lost our wallets.
Our wallets.
Oh, bloody awesome. Hey, take care, Chiefy.